thanks for joining me today for Coffee with Bill. I'm your host, Bill Rose, and my guest today is the legendary guitarist, Chris Mathis.
Hard to say, is Jeff Beck around or something?
And we got a sidekick, Rusty. Rusty's with us, Rusty Mathis. So, anyways, we're going to talk a little bit about the dark side.
Whoa.
Luke, I am your father. That one? No. All right, things you didn't know. Hey, the Earl of Sandwich, John Montagu, who lived
the
in
Hawaiian
the 1700s.
Islands were originally called the Sandwich Isles because he was the one guy that discovered it. So,
you know why and it was discovered in the 1700s because he invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling
poker games,
table.
Poker card games.
You knew this?
Yeah, I've known about this since I was younger than him. He told one of his maids because it was a marathon card game and he didn't want to leave the table.
This is the things you did know.
This particular one, he told his maid, go get a piece of meat, slap it between two pieces of bread, and bring it to me.
That sounds
There
good.
before
Okay.
Did you ever watch Magnum P.I.? Higgins, his boss on there, you know, that was the overseer of the plantation or whatever it was, the house. He would since he was British, he would often refer to Hawaii as the Sandwich Isles on the show. If you ever watch back through that, you'll notice it.
All right. Now for our weather, out to our chief meteorologist, Bobby Blackwater.
Hey, this is Bobby Blackwater, Chief Meteorologist. I'm here at Tequila's, America's fine Mexicana restaurant. Here with your weather. Got a high 92 and a low of 74. And I guess it's going to be all day sunny. That's all I got.
All right, guys, this day in history. In 1804, Vice President Aaron Burr wounded former Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton.
He said he wasn't going to shoot him, but instead...
During a pistol duel.
Yeah.
Yep, Hamilton died the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's one. 1914, Babe Ruth made his major league debut, pitching the Red Sox to a 4-3 victory over Cleveland.
See, that's a really great thing about Babe Ruth. A lot of people don't understand is not only was he an incredible hitter, but he was an incredible pitcher too. And you just don't see that anymore. Well, they'll, very often use a pitcher to play a field position and hit, but he was incredible.
All right.
And if I may quote Ty Cobb, he said, well, he could run pretty good for a fat man.
Well, that's pretty good.
You might want to edit that part.
Yeah. Are you making fun of me?
No.
Oh, no, I'm kidding.
There's a reason why it's called the Unfit Band, because we're all,
unfit without Jesus.
Unfit. All right, now to our chief correspondent, Bobby Blackwater.
Hey, this is your Chief Correspondent, Bobby Blackwater. Hey, this week, Rachel Campos Duffy, co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, shared family fun plus faith with her children this summer. Yeah, they took her to the Ark Encounter Park, which is a full-size representation of Noah's Ark based on the Genesis flood narrative in the Bible. Yeah, she took her kids. Lots of fun. She took 9 kids. How fun could that have been? Back to you.
All right, guys. This topic, or this podcast, we're talking about the dark side. And really quick, this is going to be Connect Group starting Wednesday.
The 13th.
The 13th. And we got some pamphlets here that you can pick up at the church talking about this. Tell us a little bit about this Connect Group series.
The main focus of this Connect Group and this teaching on this is to illustrate that, yes, there is evil in the world, why it's there, and what we need to do to combat it, and yet at the same time to understand no matter what. If we get nothing else out of this training, we need to understand that Jesus is victorious. He's already been victorious over evil. Evil continues to go on because God allows it. And we're going to talk about that too, why God allows evil to go on and all that. But it is at His command that it is allowed. As soon as He wants to roll everything up, He can, and He can do it. The enemies that we know of, we as humans, as Christians, have 3 spiritual enemies. Not just the devil and his minions, but our own wicked, sinful flesh nature and the world system. And those things can constitute evil, create evil, and have evil just run amok if we're not careful, if we don't use the grace of God and the discipline that he's given us with the word to stand up and make a stance against it and go crazy. But the main thing we need to understand, I want to illustrate that again, is Jesus is victorious. He's overcome, he's conquered, and that someday everything, every entity, every person is going to bow before him and confess that he is Lord. And we need to understand that. And if I may illustrate, the first session is all about Satan. And there's a lot of people out there that has this mentality in their head that it's like the yin-yang thing from Eastern religion and stuff like that, that evil and good coexist together, that they're equal, and they're not. And there's a little bit of good and evil and a little bit of evil and good, and that has nothing to do with sound biblical doctrine or God's truth. Satan and evil are created entities, period. God is the creator. He's above all that. He's beyond all that. So they have no power that's equal to him. The only power that any that Satan and his minions have is what God has allowed them to have, period.
Okay, really quick. And this is what we're going to hit on is Satan.
Okay.
All right, and he's got different names and stuff. The way the world's going, do you think people don't believe in Satan and his demons?
I think the vast majority of people do believe that there is an entity there, Satan, that does this. When I say entity, there are people in other cultures, people in other lands that are not Christian necessarily and may not be able to call him by the name Satan, but they know there is an evil entity, there are evil forces and spirits at work. So yes.
I think nowadays that people don't really focus on that, or where their life is going, like the here and now. They only focus about, the stuff about how they want to be described, or how they just want to go about their day.
And that's true. Now this is a survey done by Barna. It's been out there. You can look it up on YouTube. It shows that 56% believe more in Satan than God.
That's interesting.
And go on that and read it because they got some.
I will definitely look that up.
I've always said, if you believe in God and the biblical way we believe in God, sound biblical doctrine, you better believe that Satan and demons are real. If you believe in one, you got to believe in the other. And
this book is the ultimate truth, and it absolutely confirms that yes, they do exist.
And this is another statistics. 51% believe in the traditional biblical view of God as all-powerful, all-knowing, perfect creator. And that's down from 71% and 91%. They're not starting to believe in the Bible.
I think, if I may cut you off just a second, I think a lot of what Rusty said a minute ago was very much true. In this day and age, we're getting away from the understanding of spiritual truths that we need to understand, because we're living in the third and fourth generation of Americans, for example, who were not raised in Sunday school, that were not raised with this sound foundation. So yeah, they're more concerned about their own lives in the here and now, and maybe God exists, maybe Satan exists, but it doesn't really apply to me. It absolutely applies to every person, but and you know what? It's because of God's grace that all these demonic forces are held at bay, that it doesn't. John 10:10, if I may say, Jesus says, the thief does not come but to steal and to kill and destroy. I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. If it weren't for the grace of God and the power of Jesus, these demonic forces would kill every infant baby. They hate our guts. They hate us with a passion.
3 out of 10 know Christ as their personal Savior.
In this country, is that the
the
Western
people
world.
who did the same study from Barna? 3 out of 10 bother to read the Bible.
Wow. I'd say, you know what? We've talked about it before in this church many times, that we are living in the most biblically illiterate generation of the Western world.
So let's just turn to this young man.
The church, Christians, as a rule, don't know basic fundamentals about the Word of God.
I think in your guys' day and age that'd be more like 6 out of 10 people.
Your guys' day and age. What are you saying?
I want to say, do you fear God?
Did he just call me old?
Yes.
Do you think a lot of your kids your age fear God?
Yeah.
And what do you think that is?
We're drifting off from it. We've started to go on our own path.
So do you think the parents have been the cause of that? They didn't make them go to church, or does your friends don't go to...
I think it could be a combination of both. One, they just
You
want to focus on the here now and not that, and then some parents just might not.
Call of Duty is who we turn to?
Yeah.
Nah.
Don't get me wrong, I love video games, I love movies, I love TV shows, but we have way too many distractions in this day and age. We have way too many things that will take our mind off these tumultuous events that can be caused by spiritual forces.
We don't turn to him for advice.
No,
That's true.
I know sometimes
We look more inward than upward, as Barta would say. How many people out of 10, Rusty, believe the Bible's true and accurate in what it states? Huh?
I don't want to go with like that 3 out of 10.
I'm hoping 4 or 5.
I'm
It's 4.
hoping
You guys right
higher
there?
numbers, but especially in this day and age, more and more people are drifting off from it, believing this whack theologies and crazy things. Like,
Well, part of that has been the church's fault too, and I'll tell you why. Because when hard questions come up about the Bible, instead of trying to get to the answers and show them that it can be trusted, a lot of us leaders, Christian leaders, have said, just believe it because it's an act of faith. Yes, you have to put faith in it, but the Bible is based on fact. It's an intelligent faith. You know, you hear a lot in this day and age that the Bible is full of contradictions, and I don't believe that. There are certainly discrepancies in the Bible. There's things where you're going to be, well, that doesn't seem true. But if you back it up with other places of the Bible, it gives more clarification on it. One of the biggest examples, and if I'm going too long, I'm sorry, but I think it needs to be pointed out, is a lot of like agnostics and atheists will point out that the genealogies of Jesus listed in the book of Matthew and the one listed in the book of Luke are different. There's some differences. Therefore, that's a contradiction. If you study it out, it's not a contradiction. It traces the messianic line all the way down to Joseph on one of them, and then all the way down to Mary also on the other one. So really, it's further confirming the messianic line.
I've always asked people, do you believe in God? Yeah. But I don't believe I said, do you believe that he separated the waters and drowned the army? Do you believe Jesus rose people from the dead? Do you believe this? Do you believe that? Yeah. I said, do you believe God would mislead us with the Bible? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not going to let this misguide us. We got upcoming events. We have Saturday services at 5 p.m. along with Mrs. Schaefer's Children's Church. Wednesday, Connect Group at what time?
Well, the meal will be at 5 o'clock and the class will start at
question:
6.
How many weeks is this going to go on for?
6 weeks.
6-week
6
course.
sessions.
More food?
More food, and we like food. Sunday services at 10:30 a.m. Come a little earlier and join some coffee. Remember, love God.
Love people.
Love Jesus.
Live like Jesus.
Live like Jesus.
You had one job.
Hey,
one job.
thanks, Tim Hall. All right.
You got to leave the one job thing in there, please. I'm begging you, don't edit that out. Every day he hits me 20 that he has one job. He said it in there. I don't know if you heard. I started reading the wrong verse of the thing.